my name is Nakia Berryhill, and I am the Director of Faith Mentoring and Communicating here at Unity Lutheran Church in Bayview. I started working here in January, and my main role is faith mentoring, which is discipleship inside of the church. So discipling people in the congregation, and I'm doing that through journey groups. So journey groups are our small group ministry here at the church, and we hold like little Bible studies in places that aren't the church. So we go to bars and coffee shops, and I think eventually we'll go to people's houses and things like that. I was really excited about that model for small group ministry. I've been involved in ministry for a number of years now, and I've worked at 2 churches before this and was heavily involved in another church. But I've never seen this type of small group ministry model where we intentionally go to places outside of the church in order to build discipleship. And I really like that because that's my heart for ministry. I think that God seeks people outside of the church. There's so many people who wouldn't come through the doors of a church because they're kind of intimidating, and but people will come up to you, I think, if you're in a bar or if you're in a coffee shop and they hear you talking about God and they have questions and they want answered, or they're just drawn to you because of your kindness, or just something in you just draws them in. I think they'll come to you if you're in a coffee shop or something like that, more so than if you're in a church. So I was really excited about that because that's just my heart for ministry outside of the walls of the church. So my main job here is faith mentoring, which is another term for discipleship. And I've worked in 2 other churches before this and have just been craving a lot of discipleship within like the staff of the churches that I've been involved in. And I've done some discipling before, and I've been discipled a little bit before in the past, but I really liked when I started work at Unity that Pastor Kevin just immediately started discipling myself and the Director of Outreach, Sarah. He set up the 3 of us to do discipleship coaching for one another, and it was just very intentional. It was we're learning specific terms and just ways to find God in our lives and in the lives of others, and I really just liked sitting down and thinking about how we can point to God and how we can look for God in our lives, and just being super intentional about it. And so I just really like the model of discipleship that we've used here. So we meet together every week, and one week Sarah will disciple me, and one week I'll disciple her, and Kevin will just guide us. And now we've kind of gotten to the point where Sarah and I are just working together, but it's been really great because we go through our weeks, and then we're forced to intentionally say, where was God present in our week? What was God doing through the stories that we tell? And I really like that because I don't have trouble finding God like in the joys of my life, but I do have trouble finding God in like the struggles of my life. So being able to go back and say like the bad points of my week, but where was God in that, is really helpful, I think, for me and my relationship with God. Just finding God is present, like even in your sorrow, or even in your brokenness and in your hardship. So I think that's really good to force people to just find God in the struggles of their lives and the joys of their lives. And then I'm also discipling people. I'm being discipled through discipleship coaching, and then I'm also discipling other people through journey groups. And I found that with my friends, I'm just like bringing discipleship into my friendship conversation. So I've always been someone who, when I sit down with my friends, will pray for each other and stuff like that. But I've intentionally been like saying, well, where was God in that, to my friends, and using the language and stuff like that to make people look for God in their struggles and things like that. And I think that's really fun because I like doing that, and I think it's like building their relationship with God, and it's making me closer with my friends, just pointing them to God. So I really